The world's largest global custodian bank, BNY, selected to custody Ripple USD reserves. I like the verbiage here. We're going to dive into that. BNY selected to custody Ripple USD reserves. We've got India's first state carbon bank to be built on Hedera. We have Quant winning Programmable Payments Awards. A lot to dive into here, so just going to get started. Buckle up. So I'm going to start with India's first state carbon bank to be built on Hedera. This is the Hashgraph Group. You can follow the Hashgraph Association on X at _Hashgraph. One of the entities within the ecosystem that I think is probably like a little bit more low key as far as like just, I guess, like recognition from a lot of people out there. I'll preface Genfinity as a media partnership with the Hashgraph Association as well. But this is a legit announcement that just came out. This is a lot of work going on. We see a lot of the Hedera stuff surrounding kind of like the ESG type integrations. So Hashgraph Group and Government of Maharashtra, I said it right, to build India's first state carbon bank on Hedera. India's compliance carbon market moving from policy to practice following the April 2025 launch of the carbon credit trading scheme. The country now enforces industry-specific greenhouse gas intensity targets. These standards require companies in sectors like power, steel, and cement to reduce emissions or purchase carbon credits. The government of Maharashtra is the first state to build digital infrastructure aligned with these national goals. So the first state in India, right? Through a new partnership, the Mahatma Phule Backward Class Development Corporation, a government enterprise, will work with the Hashgraph Group to launch India's first state carbon bank on the Hedera Hashgraph network. You guys can dive a little bit more deep into the weeds with that, but obviously tokenization, carbon credits, you kind of get the picture there. So I also wanted to mention this. I mean, this is probably the craziest stuff coming out today. I think this is probably the craziest thing that I've seen today, actually. So this is BNY selected to serve as the primary reserve custodian of Ripple's enterprise-grade stablecoin, Ripple USD. I commented underneath BNY's post just like crazy to see how far we've come in this space. BNY, I guess, for some context, 41 trillion in assets under custody. It's the world's largest custodian bank, leading provider of investment management and investment services. BNY Mellon holds the top position globally in custody services, overseeing approximately 20% of the world's investable assets. As of December 31st, 2024, they reported 52.1 trillion in assets under custody, which is just wild. I like the verbiage, though. So BNY selected to serve as the primary reserve custodian. You can see Ripple's tweet, too. Ripple has selected BNY Global as the primary reserves custodian for RLUSD or Ripple USD. I think it's pretty crazy. It just kind of leads you to kind of think about just where is Ripple at as far as being in a position to kind of just pick and choose. That's the verbiage we get from Ripple's post, the verbiage we get from BNY's post. Ripple has selected BNY, which is the world's largest global custodian of assets by market share. So pretty wild. We wrote an article about that as well, I think, if I can find it. Yeah, Ripple selected BNY Mellon as the primary reserve custodian for its enterprise-grade stablecoin, Ripple USD. The partnership strengthens Ripple USD's institutional credibility, regulatory alignment, long-term market strategy. You can go and read through the article on genfinity.io. Institutional demand. Ripple has stated that Ripple USD is already gaining momentum in the stablecoin market. Since launch, the stablecoin has surpassed $500 million in circulation, representing a roughly 30% increase over the previous month, indicating rising demand among enterprise clients. The broader stablecoin market has grown steadily. I've went over multiple times the stablecoin market, where that's at right now. I went over that U.S. Treasury document that I found from like the TBAC Treasury Borrowing and Advisory Committee. that has like members like JP Morgan and State Street and Franklin Templeton and BlackRock and all those bigwigs sitting in that Treasury Borrowing and Advisory Committee, literally putting out a study, what was it, the end of May or the very beginning of June, stating that stablecoins, if regulatory clarity gets across the line and if everything's positive, could see a $3 trillion market cap by 2028, which would be like a 10x, obviously a little bit over a 10x where stablecoins are at right now. And if you think about the total crypto market at 3.5 trillion and stablecoins potentially being 3 trillion by 2028 or 2029 or even 2030, then what does that put the crypto market in general? Certainly higher than 3.5 trillion. So regulatory positioning, we are seeing, especially some of the stuff with the Genius Act and everything else with stable coins, there's some guidance that's starting to kind of shake out. I believe reading through Ripple's press release here, 1-to-1 backing through Bank of New York Mellon, all that other jazz. Ripple USD addressing a critical gap in market as stablecoin developed for enterprise grade financial use cases designed to meet the rigorous standards of leading financial institutions. And then you've got a quote from BNY Mellon: as primary custodian for RLUSD or Ripple USD, we're proud to support the growth of digital assets by providing a differentiated platform designed to meet the evolving needs of institutions in the digital assets ecosystem. You also had Brad Garlinghouse today addressing the Senate Banking Committee on Digital Asset Market Structure.
Era of U.S. competitiveness.
See if I can play one of these for you. It's not going to maybe be as loud.
On behalf of the crypto industry, I urge you to prioritize the passage of market structure legislation for digital assets through this committee and the full Senate to provide the rules and regulations needed to ensure that the U.S. becomes the crypto capital of the world.
There was a couple of different, one of it was a lot longer. I think one was like 5 minutes that Brad was speaking as well, kind of giving the intro. Okay, Quant. I think this is interesting because we're starting to see like a shift. Quant historically been a network that has just not kind of direct marketed on Twitter or anywhere else. You can see that starting to slowly change. The fire emoji, money that thinks for itself. Finance Day featured our breakthrough programmable money infrastructure that's rewiring global finance. And they say taxes that file themselves, treasury flows that react instantly, payments that execute complex logic automatically. We're not just digitizing money, we're making it intelligent. One thing that's interesting is I think in crypto, and I guess as a sidebar, we've seen use cases like that sometimes are like too early for mass adoption and then they kind of cycle back around. I think micropayments is a great example of that. One of the things that I think is 100% going to happen in the future is kind of the micro payment streaming, just kind of across the board, like even for salaried individuals. If you're working, you're not going to necessarily have to wait 2 weeks or wait, on the 15th and the 1st of every month to get paid or whatever. I think that you're going to end up probably having payments just streamed into your bank account. So I think that, we think about like taxes that file themselves, treasury flows that react instantly, payments that execute complex logic automatically. Think about agentic AI and how that's going to start tying into some of these payment flows. But yeah, anyways, Quant Flow. This was in this Future of Finance Awards Leaders Gallery. Apparently, this was sponsored by NASDAQ. Some pretty heavy-hitting names in here. Best all-around firm in digital assets, Deutsche Börse, 6 Digital Exchange, 21X, which we've seen a lot of recently, R3. I think BTCC is in here. Best digital asset market infrastructure in North America, Northern Trust, CashLink, Chainlink was in here, HSBC is in here, Quant in here as well. So yeah, and Visa, best programmable payments platform, Quant. I have no idea. I mean, I'm not going to dive deep into this Future of Financing, but I do find it interesting. You kind of see some of the heavy hitters all at these kind of award ceremonies. And more importantly, you're starting to see Quant kind of get out there into the wild, which, Quant, I don't know, like they seem to be doing well enough without like the Twitter marketing. You see like integration in like the regulated liability network. European central banks, digital euro, platform participants, and all that jazz. Also, more discussions on Capitol Hill. This is coming out from the Digital Chamber. Exciting remarks at the Digital Chamber's fly-in from panelists, Matthew Pines, individual from the IRS. You can see Constellation there as well. There's Altif from Constellation, one of the co-founders. So I am still amazed that Ripple, these ties with these huge banking entities. I'm curious like how far down the rabbit hole that stuff goes. I mean, we've done videos forever on here about some of those integrations and stuff. But I saw something too. John Deaton is suing the original. I don't know if that's in here. Let me find this one real quick. Somewhere here. I think John Deaton's suing the original CEO of Link2, if I remember correctly. Oh, here it is. John Deaton has filed a securities fraud class action against Link2 founder and ex-CEO William Saris on behalf of thousands of retail investors. So found that interesting today as well. Yeah, so I mean, long story short, first state carbon bank in India is going to be built on Hedera through the government of Maharashtra and the Hashgraph Group. Garlinghouse, the Senate Banking Committee. BNY Mellon is going to be the custodian of Ripple USD or RLUSD. And we keep ticking along. If I have some time, maybe I'll try to do some deep divey type content. I've been swamped recently. So, but that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys when I see you. It is amazing. We're seeing these heavy hitters like BNY Mellon and all these other, just gigantic announcements across the board on a consistent basis. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to watch. So thanks guys. Bye.